So, hello. This is my data science internship project where I have completed my total tasks. This is the task number one, the customer segmentations analysis. We have to collect the data, pre-process the customer data, analyze the clustering algorithms, and apply the clustering algorithms and analyze the cluster. So here are problem statement using the clustering algorithm to segment the customer based on their purchasing behavior. So yeah, we have to moving next. We're gonna import the important libraries, which is the pandas, numpy, cbond, matplotlib, and the k-means for the clustering purpose. This will not score the standard scaling. Yeah. Moving, we're gonna first perform the data collections and the pre-processing. So here I'm loading the data, reading the data using the read underscore Excel file, viewing the top 20 rows. So the columns which are present, you can see that the ID, age, gender, income, spending, scores, membership year, purchase frequency, preferred category, and the last purchase amount. As drop the unnecessary column later on. So as of now we can see that this ID column is nothing but the serial number and the membership year. I feel it's not so much related to the purchasing behavior of the customer. So first we'll drop this two column. Before that, we're gonna see the shape of the data, which is the 1000 rows and the 9 column are presented over there, and we're gonna check the information, which will give you the data type and the total null value present. So the data type of each column, which is given, is having the object data type and the float and the integers. So the total null values, there is no null values present. For the much more clarification on that, we can use the score, which is null dot sum, which will give the summation of the null value present in each column. So it is totally zero in each every column. So it is giving the certainty that there is no null value present. So we're gonna use the df.describe. They use as a box plot only, where we get the 25 percentile, 75 percentile, 50 percentile is nothing but the mean only. So we are having the mean and max of the data point. Let's see the maximum. What's the maximum ID? The maximum ID is 1000, is nothing but the row count, and the age. The maximum age is 69, and the highest income we are earning 1,49,976. The spending score, the maximum spending score is 100, and the yearly membership year is maximum 10. How much the maximum frequency of purchasing is 50, and the last purchase amount, the maximum is 1000. So moving next, we can analyze the same thing but for the object data type. So we are describing but for the object data type. So we are getting the count, which is nothing but the number of rows and the unique value present in each column, the one. So male is present for the gender, and the preferred category, it is electronics, and we are getting the frequency of the count of male and the electronics. And then moving next, we're gonna create the copy of the original data set, and we're gonna drop the ID and membership column first, as and we are left with the remaining column. So moving next, we're gonna do the correlation using the heat map. So we are storing all the data types, who are numerical, all the number types data we are going to store in this numerical underscore features, and applying the correlation on that, and using heat map you can see it visually, uh, how it is correlated. If it is more towards the lighter blue side and lighter red side, and then moving towards the red side, it is more correlated. The two features are correlated to each other. So here you can see that there is a zero relation with the age and income. The spending score is slightly related to the age, and this slightly negative relation between the age and the purchase frequency, and the last purchases amount is also having the relation with the age. So this will give you the idea of the feature to feature correlation. You can drop the feature which is highly correlated, where you're not getting so much of idea as of now from the heat map, which is highly correlated. So we're gonna take the behavior of the purchasing behavior of the customer. So we'll take into the consideration the three important columns, which is the income, last purchase, and the age. Based on the age group, we'll see the purchase frequency, how frequently they have purchased, and what's their income was. So moving next with the important column, which is the income, purchase and frequency, and the age. So for the analysis, we're gonna perform on those three columns. So this is for the box plot. We are plotting a box plot to see the distribution of the each column. So box. This is the box plot for the income column. This is nothing but the title and the X label. We are giving the figure size. This is the same thing. We are plotting the box plot for the purchase frequency and a box plot for the age. So as you can see that it is a normally distributed data. That means there is no presence of outlier. So there's no outlier, so we don't have to deal with the outlier. Moving next, we're gonna perform the scatter plot. We are assigning again the figure size and giving the projection 3D. We're giving all the three columns to see how it's look in the 3D dimension. Looks, these are nothing but the X label, Y label. These are the labeling and the title, which you can see over here. So using the scatter plot, as of for now, we are not getting much information from this, but we can see that how the data is distributed if we use this three columns. This is the 3D graph. So just taking one points, this is the top one. We can say that this is going to be in one group, which is going to have the highest age and the lowest income, but the spending score is high. Okay, so for that, as it is using the distance formula, so we have to do the scaling. So we are doing the same thing. We are performing the scaling on this. We are taking the scale data to view in the data frame. We are using the pd.build data frame. This is the scale data in the array form. This is the data frame we are with the scale data. Moving next, build the model. So for that, the maximum value of k for as of now we are assigning 12. We're gonna do the iteration on the slot score. We're gonna check the slot score and also the k value. We're giving the range with the gap of 2. It will take the value of k, and we can see that we are giving the k means model with the maximum number of clusters k. K is nothing but the k value with the range maximum 12, and the range gap was going to be in the gap of 2. The maximum iteration is 1000. We are fitting and predicting on the scale data and checking for the silhouette score for the scale data and the cluster labels. These are nothing but the figure size again. We are giving the k value and the iterations, and there next is k value and the silhouette score. This is the k value. Nothing rest are nothing but the label and titles. And here you can see that the steep drop. You can see till the number 4. There it is. After that, the decrease has become slower. So you can choose the number 4 for our cluster. And for the verification, you can see that the silhouette score is having the highest peak increase for the number 4, and then it was fluctuating up and down. For the silhouette score, if it is more close towards the 1 value, this is the value. It is as it is moving more close to the 1, the model is performing good. If there's a more fluctuation, we're gonna stick to the number 4 value for the number of cluster. Again, we build the model in the cluster number, total cluster 4, and we are taking the same random state and doing the same iteration and fitting predicting and fit predicting on the scale data. Here we are getting the cluster number The cluster numbering starts from the 0 to 3. Okay, so these are the row. The first row belong to the cluster row number 1, cluster number 2. The row 2 also belong to the cluster number 1, and the row 3 to the cluster number 2. To say it in a much better way with the corresponding columns, we're gonna add one more cluster column, so that just in front of the rows you can see that in which cluster that row belongs to. Moving next, we're gonna perform the visualization. Okay, so using the scatter plot again, but here we're gonna have the four different cluster with the different colors. So for the 0 color we are having blue, for 1 it is orange, the 2 cluster number 2 is green, and 3 is red. We are mapping the color on the cluster and assigning the figure size. Again, the projection is 3D. We are giving all three columns, and we're gonna see the cluster. Oh, sorry, the cluster with the scatter plots. So this is the first group, second group, third, fourth, total 4 group are present, as the visualization has become much more easier for us to interpret which type of people belong to which cluster. So you can see that the people who are earning lesser to like a maximum range of 1 lakh, less than slightly less than 1 lakh 20,000, or having the slightly less uh, purchase frequency, but their age group is under 60. So this is the analysis we can perform in the same way for the red and the green and yellow orange part too. To see it in a much better form, we're going to use the violin plot next, and the final analysis and final result we're gonna see. We are on the x-axis we're gonna get the number of cluster, and for the y we're gonna get the income. This income is like the whole income column, how the whole income column is distributed. This y is equals to final underscore df income column will give you, and this one will give you the each cluster, the income distribution in each cluster. Okay, the same we are using for the purchase frequency and for the age column. Okay, here nothing but the title and the labels. Moving next, okay, these are the group which I'm going to explain to you how it is distributed, but first I'm gonna tell you the interpretation I got from these analysis. First, the cluster number 0 requires nurturing. It's having the cluster represents the least active but the high value. Why least active and high value? I'm gonna tell you the least active because the versus frequency is very less, but their income is like ranging from the 30,000, somewhere around 30,000 to like going above 1 lakh 20,000, but the maximum salary range is between 50 to 90, which is quite good, but they are not spending much. So we need to nurture them. Okay, for that we can focus on building relationship, providing excellent customer service, etc. And for the cluster number 1, it required retain. Why? Like the cluster represents the high value customer who purchase frequently, who are under 50 age. Okay, so you can see that the cluster number 1 having the age under 50 and who has purchased so many time, their purchase frequency is so high, and also their salary is also so high. So for that retaining, you can implement the loyalty program for them or personalized offer. So for the third cluster, we can see that the number cluster number 2 we require the re-engagement. Why? This include the high value infrequent buyers and the less frequency purchased. Okay, this group is fall somewhere from the much more mature aged person to the senior citizen group. So this group is purchasing frequency is like the in the middle, not so high, not so low, but in the middle. So maybe they will be the new customer, so we have to focus on the re-engagement on them. So the maximum range, you can see that it is from somewhere around 15 to above, slightly above 30. So yeah, and also their income is high, so there is a chances if we target this group, our sales gonna increase. Okay, so for that we needed the re-engagement for this group, and for that we can target the marketing campaign using the we can target them using marketing campaign, special discount. Okay, and that last group needs reward. Why they are the most loyal customer? I'm gonna tell you how. Their age group, age group is like quite good, having the maximum age group range from above 40 to 60, which is the slight old to senior citizen group. So this is they are having the highest purchase frequency rate, and you can see that the highest volume lies between 30 to somewhere around slightly below 50. So, and their income are less. Even though their income are less, they are purchasing very frequently, so they are the loyal customer. What we do for them, we can implement the loyalty program or to provide any exclusive offer. So with this, I'd like to finish this video.